the house of Aatma. Everyone in the village of Azampur avoided the old mansion at the edge of the forest. Hidden beneath a canopy of twisted trees and cloaked in shadows, the structure stood in ruins. Its once grand walls now cracked, blackened by fire and time. Locals whisper screams at midnight, lights flickering behind shattered windows, and a presence, something evil, that watched from the shadows. They called it the house of Aatma. Aatma in Hindi meant soul, but this wasn't a place for souls to rest. It was where they screamed. No one had dared approach the house in decades, until Ravi came along. Ravi was a young paranormal investigator from Mumbai. Tall, logical, and deeply skeptical, he didn't believe in ghosts. To him, everything had a scientific explanation. When he heard about the house from an old relative during a family wedding, he was intrigued, not afraid. The house was cursed, his uncle had warned. People went in and never came out. Ravi only smiled. Perfect, he said. He arrived in Azampur with a small team, Meera, a videographer with a passion for the unknown, Arjun, a sound technician with nerves of steel, and Priya, Ravi's younger sister, who insisted on tagging along out of sheer curiosity. They brought with them cameras, EMF detectors, spirit boxes, and all the modern tools of ghost hunting. The villagers begged them not to go. "You don't understand," an old woman cried. "It's not just haunted, it's alive. The house feeds." But the team didn't listen. At sunset, they stepped through the rusted iron gate, cameras rolling. The first thing they noticed was the silence. Even the birds refused to sing. The air was thick, suffocating, as if the house itself held its breath. Inside, the mansion was worse than they imagined. Torn curtains fluttered, though there was no breeze. Soot clung to every surface. The chandelier in the main hall swung gently, though nothing had touched it. Still, they began their investigation. Meera set up static cameras in each room. Arjun calibrated the audio recorders, while Ravi used the EMF detector, scanning for spikes in electromagnetic activity. Everything seemed quiet, too quiet, until midnight. It began with a whisper. Priya was reviewing footage in the hallway when she heard it, a low murmur, like someone chanting in a language she didn't recognize. She turned, expecting to see one of the others. The hallway was empty. Then the lights flickered, and the whisper became a scream. She ran into the main hall, pale and trembling. "There's something here." Ravi tried to calm her. "We expected activity. That's why we're here." But Meera had gone silent, staring at her monitor. "Look at this," she said. On the camera feed from the basement, a figure stood at the edge of the frame, tall, dark, with glowing eyes. No one had gone down there. "Who's that?" Arjun asked, his voice shaking. Ravi grabbed a flashlight. "Let's find out." They descended into the basement together, the stairs creaking beneath their weight. The air grew colder with each step. A stench of rot filled their nostrils. In a corner of the basement stood a shrine, blackened by soot, with idols twisted into grotesque shapes. Blood stains, long dried, marked the floor. Suddenly, the flashlight went out. The darkness swallowed them. Then came the whispering, dozens of voices all around them, crying, laughing, begging. The camera picked up a voice, clear as day. "Leave, or stay forever." Arjun screamed. Something had touched him. They ran up the stairs, but the door slammed shut before they reached it. Trapped, Ravi banged on the wood. "It's just a trick. It has to be." Meera's hands were shaking. "This isn't science anymore, Ravi." Suddenly, Priya fell to her knees, eyes rolled back. Her mouth opened wide, and someone else's voice came out. "I was the first, the priest's daughter. He made us part of the house. He bound our souls with blood." Ravi stared in horror as his sister convulsed, then fell still. When she awoke, she didn't remember anything. They managed to force the door open and fled the basement, gasping for breath. But the house was changing. The walls were bleeding. Shadows moved on their own. Mirrors showed things that weren't there. Meera screamed. One of the cameras had captured her reflection smiling, even though she wasn't. One by one, the team began to unravel. Arjun was the first to vanish. He went into the library and never came out. When they found the room, all that remained was his camera, still recording. The footage showed him reading from an old book. Then a dark figure appeared behind him. The camera fell. Mira lost her mind next. She spoke in tongues, clawed at her face, and ran into the forest, never to be seen again. That left Ravi and Priya. He held her close in the attic, shaking. "I was wrong," he whispered. "There's something evil here. We need to get out." But the house wouldn't let them. The doors led to walls. The windows showed only darkness. The air grew thicker, choking them. And then they saw it. A figure, taller than any man, cloaked in shadows, its face a void. It hovered above the staircase, whispering ancient words. Priya screamed as it reached toward her. Ravi stepped in front of her. "Take me," he shouted. "Let her go." The figure paused. Then it smiled. Everything went dark. The villagers say that a fire broke out that night. The mansion burned for 3 days straight, and when it was over, nothing remained but ashes. But the whispering never stopped. Some nights, they still hear Ravi's voice, calling from the edge of forest. And those brave enough to step near the ruins say they feel watched, like the house may be gone, but the Aatma still lingers, because you can't destroy evil. You can only feed it.